Seth Jarvis, a member of Team Canada. Get that clear this time. For the Four Nations Cup coming up to highlight the game of hockey globally, but also it is essentially a 2-week break from the NHL season, which is serious. That is a reset. That is a time to work on yourself, get healthy, all of these things. The Canes have 3 games left before that kind of couple weeks off for the Four Nations face-off. So I thought let's make a wish list. Like, what do you want to see in these next 3 games? If you were the hockey gods controlling things, pulling the strings, what would you want to see from the Canes so that 2-week break can be best used, best utilized, and set the Canes up for a hopefully deep playoff run and second half of the season thriving push towards the postseason? Now, obviously, okay, I'm going to try to be more creative than like 3 wins and 1 billion goals, but not too much. I'd like to see 3 goals from Mikko Rantanen. And it's not just like I want goals from the new flashy winger. It's not just that, although it is kind of. But also a big part of the Canes' next 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, whatever it is getting Mikko Rantanen to sign a contract extension. Getting him to sign up to be a Carolina Hurricane for the next 8 seasons of his career, pretty much through his prime. I don't want him around all of his friends from Finland, Team Finland, his buddies, the guys that he grew up playing juniors with, and have all of them asking about, dude, you're not really producing the way you used to since you got to Carolina. How many games you been there? Oh, that's all the goals you have? Well, what's up? What's going on with the system? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you going to stay? I want it to be like, bro, since you've got – this is how Finnish people talk in my brain, in my imagination. It's not how they talk in real life. But I want to be like, bro, since you've been to Carolina, you've been lighting it up. You got to be signing the contract. So like 3 goals – maybe a couple multi-goal. Let's get like 5 goals if I'm being greedy, right? I get to decide how this goes, right? A hat trick and then a goal in each of the other games and like 8 points. I want Mikko Rantanen to go into the Four Nations face-off on a heater just to shape the conversations that he's going to have over the next 3 weeks, right? Because, friends' opinions matter. Friends' opinions matter. Think about it like college recruiting or something like that, because that's essentially what free agency is, right? If somebody gets an offer from, I'll use the made-up school from He Got Game so we don't insult any real university. If you get an offer from Big State, right, and then you go to school the next day and you're excited, like, I got an offer from Big State, and your buddies are like, Big State's Loserville, bro. Like, yeah. What?
Go to Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, I mean, Big State. Is that your only offer? That's tough. You're probably not going to be super stoked to go to Big State just off of what your friends say. Now, I'm not saying Mikko Rantanen is as impressionable as like a 16-year-old getting one offer, but it is like you want people to be like, dude, since you got to Carolina, you're lighting it up. And it hasn't been that for a multitude of reasons, no matter how much like legitimacy behind, like, oh, everybody's been sick. Oh, it's new and chemistry and whatever, new system. Like, however legit they are, you don't want those conversations taking place. Dennis, do you have a wish list item?
I do, actually.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
So I want to see the special teams, the power play and the penalty kill, to have a combined percentage of over 100. And the generally what NHL teams do when it comes to measuring how good overall your special teams are, your power play and your penalty kill. Take your power play percentage, take your penalty kill percentage, add them up. If it equals 100, you're generally overall pretty good. So, for example, if you're killing off 80% of the penalties that you're facing and you're also scoring 20% on the power play, you are basically like, that's good. You're at 100 if you add those two together. I want to see them at 105 or better these next 3 games.
Okay.
105 or better these next 3 games. That's what I want to see.
Their power play. I would love to see it before the three, or like in the next 3 games. It might just need a full 2-week reset. It might be like Geek Squad. Have you tried unplugging it for 2 weeks and plugging it back in?
Might need that.
That break might be just what the doctor ordered. I also want Scott Morrow to play well enough that nothing will be rattling him for 2 weeks? Because that can also happen as well, right? If he gets pulled up and maybe has a few mental errors and gets maybe called out by Rod in the media, like something, and then it's like, oh, you don't even have hockey to play for a little bit. I guess he could. Does the AHL pause for the Four Nations?
AHL, no.
No, okay. So maybe he could go down and keep playing there. But I don't want him sitting in like a vacuum, rattling around, just playing over and over and over a couple mistakes that rookies might make when they first get called up to the NHL. I would much rather have him like confident hitting into a little bit of a break. And
if he plays.
If he plays, yes.
If he plays.
Well, he got called up. I'd have a very confusing time if he just gets called up as a healthy scratch and goes back down.
Chicago's not playing right now. The AHL's not playing right now. They're on their All-Star break.
Then let him be on the All-Star break. Like, it'd be weird for me. And I'm not saying it'd be the weirdest thing in the history of the world. It would just be a little strange for me. That's all I'm saying. Last thing on my wish list, I put 3 things on a wish list, rule of threes. I want Seth Jarvis I was trying to come up with a way, like a game winner. Maybe an overtime game winner or some kind of ridiculous highlight is what I want from Seth Jarvis for everything I said before during the first goal scorer predictions. He has a star-making opportunity for Team Canada, right? Playing for your country amongst stars is an opportunity that I think he can seize, right? And he, trust me, he won't be getting the biggest usage rate on Team Canada. But if he puts together a few in that Four Nations Cup, he can raise his Q score, his fame rating, and I want him to have momentum and confidence going into that. I think we've seen it a bunch of times where players have a big Olympics or something, and then they come back and are suddenly leveled up as a star. Just those types of things happen. So obviously this is similar to Olympics. So I want Seth Jarvis to have a highlight, a dramatic, big, you want to play it in slow motion with Chariots of Fire music behind it, highlight leading into the Four Nations Cup. And it's nice that he's locked up for a whole bunch of years on his contract. So no matter how awesome he is at Four Nations, he can't come back and go, oh, yesterday's price is not today's price. And the Canes can go, yeah, darn right it is, because you signed the contract. And a lot of that's deferred money anyway.